So, mecha lovers, I'm not sure if this will garner any amount of traction. I know that old geezers like us don't necessarily watch YouTube 24/7, but I had to take it upon myself since Apharmd was my favorite cyber trooper back in the day. I played Virtual On and then I played Oratorio Tangram. I know there was Force and some arcade ones, but I never had access to those. So this is pretty much a combo between the initial Apharmd that you get in Cyber Troopers Virtual On and some of the future iterations, the heavyweight ones, the bazooka and so on and so forth. I'm gonna break it down, show you why and how I am using the stuff I am using, and after you can enjoy some more gameplay action, this time in PvP. Let's get to it! Our generator is the Mink tank. I am using this mainly because it serves my needs whilst retaining a pretty healthy balance of stats. EN capacity is great, EN recharge is great, supply recovery is more than great, post recovery and C supply is not that good, so this is an AC that you have to manage. You cannot just spam actions and wait for the after depletion recharge. But an added benefit is that it doesn't hinder you any more than needed going for energy firearm spec. So this is exactly what we wanted, and this is exactly what we needed to use. Our FCS is the Talbot. Great close range assist, great medium range assist, no long range assist, but we don't need it, and also allows us for some quite balanced missile lock-on correction. Don't worry too much about that, because when I go to my missiles, I'm gonna show you why they don't need that much help. But Talbot is very well balanced and not that power hungry. Also, it's quite heavy, but not the heaviest, so I'm gonna let that slide, although I could be using something a little bit lighter. Our overall boost speed is 317, not too shabby. We managed to keep the frame above 10,000 AP, so we should be good. Our booster is the NGY 001. I initially went for the Kikaku, because I wanted the melee attack thrust, but then I realized that because of one of my weapons, I need to have a good upward thrust, and the Kikaku is pretty much pathetic when it comes to that. You need to be flying above them to utilize one of our weapons. So I'm using the NGI 001 because it gives you good melee thrust, very good QB thrust and QB jet duration, and excellent upward thrust. Our legs are pretty much the base of the template for Apharmd. You have to have this camouflage green and gray and bulkiness, so I'm going LG011 Melander. It is more resilient and lighter than the C3, so it's pretty much excellent for what we need. The paint job was pretty intricate, but don't you worry, because both the code for PlayStation and the overall palette will be posted later on in the vid. Our hands are the Melander C3, exceptionally well balanced arms, good firearm specialization, good melee specialization, and overall good, healthy and balanced. Nothing to worry about here. Our chest piece is the 011 Melander. Again, this is the bulkier of the two. Very good defenses, except maybe for energy, but it gives us good AP, doesn't hinder on movement too much, and it looks exactly like Apharmd, so we're using it. The head is the VP44S. This goes 1-for-1 for Apharmd's head because it allows us to pay a certain part of it orange. It has the exact same antenna, a straight line of a visor that you can cyan color, and overall looks good. The stats are pretty healthy as well. One of the healthiest heads when it comes to stat balancing, so we're taking it heads down. Self-explanatory that we're going with the Teams. One of the most powerful weapons in the game. Apharmd using a shotgun, so what did you expect me to use? The Sweet 16? Zimmerman it is. On the left we're using the stun baton. We don't have Tonfa, sadly. Apharmd using Tonfa, guys. I don't care about the other iterations, the knives and all that shit. If you know Apharmd from the OG, the Tonfa is his signature move. You get in there, slice and dice them, destroy them in a couple of applications. So we're gonna use the stun baton, both because it recharges extremely fast and can be spammed to shit and back, and because the electric buildup deals a shitload of damage once it goes off. Our right shoulder is the magnificent magnificent BMLG1 PO7 VTC/12 12-cell vertical missile battery with an exceptionally good guidance system. Remember when I told you that we're using the Talbot because we don't need that much help with missiles? Well, this is excellent. I know that what you get from the FCS mainly has to do with how fast it tracks, but we're using a pretty fast AC here. We have very good guidance, so one stat will complement the other and we can have some leeway when it comes to the rest of the equipment. Left shoulder is the Earshot. Now listen here. Earshot has a shitload of damage on it, a shitload of impact, accumulated impact, and humongous blast radius. Its biggest issue is that it takes an eternity to reload and requires a lot of energy. Luckily, with the configuration we have going on here, we can both support the weight, the energy requirement, and have enough sustain for when we are recharging this. Now, this is what led me to using the booster that I am using, because the best application of this is to be flying above the enemy and just blast the ground beside them, dealing insane damage. As you can see, the direct hit adjustment for this thing is pretty low. I'm gonna show you right here. So it doesn't really depend on direct hits. You just fire this thing at their feet, explodes into a volcano of eruption, and you deal a ton of damage. Works exceptionally well. It takes a lot of time to reload, as I said, but we have the stun baton to keep adding pressure and the 12-cell battery of missiles to keep them dodging and going. If they get too close, the team will take care of them, and if they get too close at the wrong time, you can do a 1-2 punch with this and send them to hell and back. Now I'm gonna show you the paint. What you see here, you can just screenshot and replicate. What I'm gonna pay attention to here is the legs and firearms when it comes to the pattern. So here is our pattern, and here is the pattern for the weapons. Just take a screenshot of this, replicate it, and of course at this point you can also see the code for PlayStation. Sorry Xbox and PC guys, I'm playing on PlayStation. Just replicate these things, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna go into some PvP now, and I'm gonna break down some of the combos I've been using. Natural combos that can deal a shitload of damage, you don't need any expertise, so enjoy the show. So the strat we're going for here is as follows. We need to apply pressure with missiles, the baton and the chim. So when we manage to gain altitude and have them either cornered or out of stagger, we blast them with the rocket launcher. Actually it's listed as a heavy grenade, but it doesn't really matter. You can see that when it hits, or when it hits close enough, the damage and impact damage are insane. What I've been doing in this entire match is zap around. We have very good QB reload time and very good sustain with our energy. Just get their stagger high and then go in and destroy them with whatever I have left. Because we're using 4 distinct weapons, we can really interchange between them, but what we are focusing on is altitude control and cornering the enemy. I'm going to leave the rest of the PvP match play here, and then we'll provide a little outro to wrap things up. So this is it, boys, my Apharmd build from virtual on. If you enjoyed this, please consider supporting the channel. Making these very niche, very old geezer like builds doesn't really pay off, and we really keep to keep the lights on. It's been a very trying couple of years. Sub, like, share, hit the notification bell, and until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!